Hello. Hi. Faye Bryant here with another daily devotion running late in the day. Sorry about that. Today we are looking at John 13:14 that says, "And since I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you ought to wash each other's feet." Let's talk. Jesus, Creator, God in flesh, King of all kings, Lord of all lords, mighty, powerful, truth, life. This Jesus arranged his robe, slipped a towel into the belt, lifted a basin, and poured water into it. Then he kneeled down and washed the feet of those 12 followers who were his most beloved and most ardent, even Judas. A king kneeling before his subjects? Unheard of, unknown. Can you imagine their faces? Can you hear their thoughts? Peter expressed his, and Jesus rebuked him, saying that this was absolutely necessary. These words, inspired by the Spirit of God and penned by John, tell us why this act was so very important. He had to physically show his followers how to behave. None of us are so high and mighty powerful that we are not obligated to slide up our sleeves, tuck a towel in our belts, and kneel down to wash the feet of our fellow believers. We are expected by God to do this. Does it mean literal washing of feet? Possibly. But let's look a little further. This task was one of the most menial of any. Feet that walked in open sandals every day were dirty, and to wash them meant bowing low, showing reverence. I think God expects believers to show reverence, not worship, to other believers. We are to take ourselves out of our usual, to bow low and attend to their deepest needs. We're to know them so that we know their needs. We're to see them, really see. Then, when we see even a menial task that needs done for them, we're not to call someone else to take it on. We are to do it. Oh, now don't get me wrong. No, don't get me wrong. If that believer over there needs their car repaired so they can get to work and they have no money for that repair, they don't want me getting my hands dirty, all greasy. It wouldn't do them any good. But I'll call the mechanically minded folks to handle it, and I can manage that task, remaining with the person who thinks they're about to lose everything because this one issue touches so many. I might even drive them to their workplace and then back home if need be. Basically, we are to see the needs of fellow believers, and we're to act on what we see, and we're to love them well through that time. Let's take this challenge of Jesus to heart, shall we? Let's look for the believer with dirty feet today and serve them well, giving reverence and dignity to them through our tender care. Coffee, Bible, journal. I think I can't just leave this go without saying that the best way we can see and recognize the needs of other believers is when we are in a church community with other believers. That's where we get to know them. Now, absolutely, God can point out those to us in other places. They might be strangers in a strange land, or they might be somebody that we meet on vacation. It might be somebody that we meet in town, away from our normal church folk. But the easiest way that we're going to know who our brothers and sisters are is by being around our brothers and sisters. And the best place for that is the local church. So I will encourage you. I absolutely will. Oh, yes, I know you can be a Christian and never go to church. For real, you can. But you're never going to be the fulfilled Christian, living in total obedience to Christ Almighty without it. I'll tag my friend Nick Carnes on this. He's got a great perspective on it. Yeah. Listen, it's time that we start seeing the people around us. It's time that we start seeing the people around us, not just looking over, but seeing them, looking deep into their eyes, spending time talking back and forth, understanding what's going on in their family, hearing the sorrows and the griefs and the joys and the happiness. When we know these things, it's easier to see when there is a need. We don't have to have a phone call from them saying, hey, I got a problem. We recognize it when we see them and they say, yeah, I'm fine, when they're not. Once we see, we need to act. We need to get those sleeves rolled up and grab that towel and that basin and do what we can to meet those needs. Sometimes it's calling somebody in who can actually meet the need, but that doesn't let us off the hook. After we make that phone call or take them someplace where that can be fixed, we need to stay with that person. We may not physically stay in that moment, but we need to stay with that person and wrap them up with reverence and respect and dignity and love. And I'm going to tell you, I keep saying that this is toward believers. That's what Jesus said. Granted, we're to help people outside the community of Christ, but we are first to see these within our community taken care of. And let me tell you something that happens when we do this. When we behave in this weird way, people start to notice. Those who don't know Christ notice. And they start to wonder, what is weird? What's going on with them? And then before long, they recognize that it's the love of Christ being spread out amongst the entire church community. Jesus said that when we behave in this way, other people will know that we are his followers. Wouldn't you like to be known when you're seen to be known that you're a Jesus follower? You don't have to tell anybody. They just know. Yeah, pretty cool, huh? Okay, I'm going to quit babbling. It has been a great time to visit with you. I enjoy being able to share scripture and to see how it applies to our lives. And I hope that that you've enjoyed these moments too. Oh, listen, if you're struggling with knowing what to do and how to do it and trying to get things done and you can't, distractions and everything else, click on this, or you can't, it's not a link. Okay, but go to this website. Go to this website. There's information. There's an assessment you can take. It's completely private. There's no obligation. It's utterly free. All up to you. If you're watching on YouTube, I hope that you will subscribe and be sure to hit the bell so you'll get notifications when these go live. And until next time, I'm Faye Bryant. Have a fabulous day. Bye.